or released a girl, Drea O, and as you know, I'm everywhere you go. Now, it's been reported that there was a mass shooting at Chicago rapper Mello Bucks's album release party. I can't even show you guys the full footage here because it's really bloody and it's really gory. But if you just, go on TikTok or search up Instagram and put in Mello, you'll see the clips. Very, very nasty, nasty work. And it's so scary because I could have been at that listening party as well. Yesterday I went to Shauna, formerly of DTP, her listening party, and we were standing outside the exact same way. So Lord knows, anything could have happened. I could have been standing outside of this. The whole thing is just so scary because, again, this was a really nice neighborhood in River North, right up the street from where FBG Duck was killed, and this doesn't usually happen in areas like this. People say it all the time, but more and more in Chicago, it seems like a lot of the big violence is happening downtown when people step out, when people...
Well, people, I was there last night. I was there. I showed this clip, 4 unalive, 14 wounded in drive-by outside downtown nightclub, Artist Lounge. I understand that it is now closed and out of business. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Dreo Show. You can check her out, subscribe. I met her last night when I was down there. Well, first of all, happy 4th of July, and let freedom ring. Again, happy 4th of July, and let freedom ring. Again, I was downtown Chicago, and a sad situation. I want to play a clip from what I was interviewed by her and another content creator. And even if I just touch the life of one, then that's definitely purposeful. This thing called life is precious. It was precious long before the violence hit. It was precious when God decided to make us, to create us in his image. Satan never liked the fact that God wanted to explore such a beautiful, unique moment in creation. We can't pinpoint when God had the thought. We can't pinpoint when God created on that day, the first day, Adam. And his feet touched the ground and the earth began to let off a frequency and a vibration of blessings. Satan knows what God's intent is. I believe he was jealous. You see, because he gave us authority, that is, he gave us a kingdom. He didn't give Satan one. So I believe in the recesses of his brain and his heart and his mind, he decided to rebel. That's the basis of all of this, rebellion, to disturb it. Before I show you this clip, I want to briefly go over what I put in a video yesterday in terms of the gematria. Here in Chicago, we have a governor, J.B. Pritzker. His birthday is January 19th of 1965. January 19, 2025, anniversary of his birthday. The incident date was 7/2/2025. The difference is 5 months and 14 days. Did you know that on May 14th of 1948, Israel became a nation? and that they're still in conflict, no matter how many peace treaties they say they're going to have. Many times the powers they speak in relation to other events. So to me, this unalive moment here in Chicago, it also shared a space to send and signal a message that there is war overseas and that it will intensify. Do you understand? And again, you take the birthday of our governor here in Chicago, anniversary versus that same date, you get 165 days in between the governor's last birthday and the incident date. What is 165? June 14th is the 165th day of the year. That's Trump's birthday. Make that make sense? Isn't he in the midst of negotiating, yet bombing Iran? Do you understand? December 3rd, 1818 is when Illinois became part of the United States, the 21st state. December 3rd. Take December 3rd, 2024, subtract it from Donald Trump's birthday, 6/14/2025, last birthday. The difference is 6/14, Trump's birthday, 6/14, June 14th. Interesting, isn't it? And then here's the rapper, the female rapper, when they had the party. This is her birthday. This is her birthday, 4/9/2001. When you subtract it from the event date of 7/2/2025, look at what you get. That she's 8,850 days old. People, that could not be an accident. What is 88? Didn't Trump erect 2 flagpoles? 88 feet tall? Didn't he brag about getting $88 billion from tariffs? Isn't Trump's text number 88022? And what about the 50? Well, I said the other day, J.D. Vance was the tiebreaker in the big, beautiful bill. 50 Republicans, there was a 50-50 split, so to speak. There, Republicans and Democrats were split over getting this thing done, and J.D. Vance was the tiebreaker in relation to our 50 states. It's all symbolic. So this shooting, in my humble opinion, it's in the metaphysical realm. That's where it's at. And Chicago's a test city. We're being used in the realm and don't realize it. I'm not saying a rapper was a part of it, but the people that engage in this thing, they know what they're doing. They're putting this thing together. I do not believe that everybody down the chain of the rap industry is aware. They're just not. Then look at this. Her last birthday, 4/9/2025, versus the same date that it happened, 7/2/2025 incident. The difference is 84 days. Well, you know Barack Obama was the 84th president. Barack Obama is born August 4th. And the odds are he is the Antichrist. So was this a sacrificial moment? Do you understand what you're looking at? I want you to see what you're looking at. Okay, beyond the news. It's a spiritual thing. Now check this out. And yes, I do have a little high vocal when I get excited, but hey, the passion is real, baby. I'd rather cry out in the street and affect one good soul to possibly save that parent from crying in the hospital or at the morgue because they just lost a child. Somebody got to do it. That's what I do. I'm going to be careful. But hey, God calls you, He'll protect you. I got to be smart when I'm out here. So thank you for the advice. But check it out.
Here, hey, it is what it is. How you doing? Well, yeah, the way I feel about it. Yeah, right. Trying to make us look bad. Exactly. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, so I'm down here filming. I got my own YouTube channel, and I wanted to share with my audience the real Chicago. We do have our thugs like any city, okay? But trust me, all that was planned. Just like the 60s and 70s, they dropped the drugs in our community. That's a fact. They broke up the gangs. and made us rival, that's a fact. I met some of the biggest gang leaders in Chicago in the 60s and 70s. They had a truce. The powers broke it up because ain't no benefit in peace. And they deliberately had this crap going every year. So like I told my listeners a little while ago, they done went from the black ghetto communities, where a lot of us were trying to make it. But with the integration, the doctors, the lawyers, the chemists, the people who own businesses, they left. So the damage of integration is that money leaves your community, so now you're fighting over scraps. And I'm not knocking poor people. What I'm saying is that if you're going to build a community, you push the development that's already there and make it work. But the civil rights movement, what do they do? They say integrate. So now plan B was to do what? Drop the drugs, drop the guns, tell the women you don't need no man, make the projects, have bastard children, push Superfly, push Shaft, push all the stupid movies, give me a few rappers, put your head to the side, flag, call a woman. We're the only race that call our women B's and H's, and we want every other race to respect us. Make that make sense. So it's easy to say that 4 black men came down here and acted a fool because we allegedly doing it in our own community. It's easy to sell it, but I ain't buying it because I'm from the hood, 83rd Dallas. I grew up. I knew Mr. Ford. He was the head of the Black Peace Stone Nation. He lived in my building. I knew the gangbangers. I knew the Peace Stone Nation. A lot of them brothers was good. They give out turkeys for Thanksgiving and Christmas. They do a lot of positive stuff. All gangs ain't bad. Well, I'll put it to you like this. I'm not going to go there. The goal is this. The goal is to take it from our community to this. Because the thing is worldwide fear. That's what they want. They want to profit from fear because they want our rights. They've been doing it overseas for decades. It's America's turn. They can't beat us because we got our rights. But if they divide us, which they've been doing, if they fool us, which they're slowly doing, and if they cause fear, we're going to give up all of our rights, including our weapons. They already got us fighting each other. Black men, black women, we can't get along. That, and it always is. You can go back 10 years. It's almost the same story, different street, late at night, same crap. 4 black men get out the car, sprayed the place up, ain't found nobody. Same story. And I'm like, come on, man, get a little strip. Baby, because it ain't real. It ain't real. How blunt can I be? The stuff ain't real. Either they in on it or it's a joke. Look, we black here. Let's just keep it real. You know good and well we measure our crime. You got to be a special kind of stupid on cocaine and broke to come into one of the most affluent neighborhoods in Chicago and do that. You talking about the penitentiary. Trump already got Alec Island already shut up. Black folks read the news. In Florida, they just opened up Alligator Island. We know what's going on. We don't want to go there. So now we're going to risk everything we got to shoot up a female rapper? Come on, man, that story don't make no sense. What's the benefit? I can see if you held up First National Bank and you got a couple of million, then you going down for something big. I'm not saying she ain't got no value, but she a brand new rapper. What's the value in shooting that up? There's no value, so the story makes no sense. It's a non-story. So what is the story? The story is fear. I'm going to bring the same fear and the T word that they don't want us to use, T-E-R-R, that they done brought in the black community for generations and bring it to every community so that we can surrender this thing. It's called freedom. No. Yeah, who would? Who would? Look. First of all, it's an economy killer. Let's keep it real. And already they already got statistics. We don't have the buying power or the political power that we need. So you already hurt your money. Once you get a reputation where you don't feel protected as an owner,
Should these glasses be illegal?
Dunkin' Donuts. Most Dunkin' Donuts are 24 hours. Most gas stations are 24 hours. Okay? Most Walgreens. When you get this type of violence, it's an economy killer. So who's gonna hurt the most? Who has those jobs? Black people, poor white, poor Latino. So why the hell are you gonna hurt your own people? It makes no sense. If you didn't learn anything from 5 years ago, when it comes down to a crisis, we the first one to get hurt. How do I know? They called it essential. What the hell is essential? Oh, we not, because they didn't let our businesses stay open, did they? So who stayed open? All the bigs. They made millions of dollars. Everybody else had a mask on and kept their butt inside. We got to understand economics and how it's done. It's a war. Because we outnumber them, they have to out-strategize us. They give us a checkerboard with a monopoly, but they playing chess. It was planned. Just like the war in the Middle East, it's been planned. I decode for a living. All that's, look.
So excuse the way I'm doing this, but hey, if I had the skills to do it better, I'm working on it now. But look, the seeds of destruction have been sown. It took generations for us to get to this space in all our major communities. You understand? Satan needs to use the image of God. We had become a tool in his hands. Satan hasn't changed his objective. He's crafty. He has a one world system. That's his objective. And Satan had to make a certain type of people. I'm not knocking our people, and I'm not saying that we're in totality the whole problem. But Satan had to create a subculture. And look, Satan knows the gift that black people that we have. A lot of us are natural born lyricists. Doesn't mean that other cultures don't have it, but hey, the majority of rappers, especially those who have made it, are what you're looking at, black. Satan knows that that's a gift, but it's supposed to be used and utilized for the glory of God. Satan had the incision and create a plan that he's very patient over the generations to get a generation, which is this generation. And he has intensified that. And now we're here. So we're carrying out a plan crafted in the spiritual realm, brought to our realm to take the whole world, spiritual, to get it to a operational and order point where it triggers a reap what you sow, where the environment is no longer blessing, but now it's caustic and that it boomerangs negativity. Now I'm going to read a few things and go into it. The seeds of destruction have been sown. We live in an intensified moment, last days again. We live in an intensified moment. These are the last days, people. Satan knows his time is short. So he went to work on the generations of kids long time ago. That's why he had families dissolved, so that in a lot of our big cities, over 60%, there is no man or there's a one-parent household. He knew he could once he crippled that, then at that point, he would then substitute fatherhood or parenthood, if you will. So he had to intensify that thing toward the last days, because his mindset is, I have a goal. When Satan said he wanted to be like the Most High, to me it's a play on word. It's a lie. He don't really want to be like God. He wants to be a God and the God. You see, and he wants to bring God's creation to ruin. Do you understand? This is how you bring it to ruin. You create an environment of thug life. Satan has to plant and then cultivate. You know how farmers or people, we know how to plant. We plant seeds and then we cultivate. They're cultivating the rap environment. So it naturally makes division, polarization, envy, strife, the beefing. It's a subtle Cain and Abel moment. Cain and Abel in the Bible, where the earth finally tasted blood for the first time when Cain killed Abel. That's what he wants in all the big cities. The basic ingredients, like I said, over 60%, no dads, a one-parent household. 2, plant the drugs and the gangs and the guns in our community. You see the results. 3, deception and division. 4, a fake and thriving and beneficial means to make money. So as opposed to kids going out getting a bona fide job and taking their skills, they're gravitating and they're drawn toward the rap industry. And so it's really like a psychological spiritual farm that Satan has created, where we get kids from around not only the United States but around the world. And they're creating, Satan is creating an image. Look, people, let me tell you how it works. When God said he made us in his image, that's also a spiritual aspect. Satan knows that the most powerful force on the planet is the word. So if he gets a hold of the word and places it with beats and rhymes and music, he knows that draws us. But again, he's making us a travesty. He's making us a catastrophe. And he's using it through the greatest force on the planet, the word. Do you understand? So they call it rapping. Come on now. You definitely wrapped up, right? Because you're wrapped up in something that God never designed, nor that he intended. So they have a fake, beneficial, and means to make money. So yeah, so you see the rappers taking wads of money, got women shaking their butt, throwing it at them, and kids who are impressionable, they want to be in that environment, and they think, hey, I can make it in America, and I can be in this industry. Leave it alone. 5, negative instigation or beefing between music artists. That's done on purpose. I believe there are people who are plants in the music industry, just like there are people and plants, social people who have been placed in a lot of our major cities to cause division. They didn't just limit it in the government or in the social construct. They also put it in the music industry. I believe the music industry is full of people who are plants to keep the beefing going between the rappers. Man, look, you gotta admire the strategy. It's crazy. So Satan has planted people to intensify this atmosphere. 7, fuse it with money and the limelight, right? You get the cars, the women, the money. 8, it's so bad. Look here. It's so bad that if the dark hands stop operating, we'd still self-destruct. I'm gonna say it again. Because this thing has become generational and so deep and so steep and so vast, it's so bad that if the dark forces stop operating, we'd still self-destruct. It's deep. Our intake of certain substances, you understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it. Our intake, our consumption of certain substances that we are smoking and inhaling and drinking, it keeps us in operation on a certain frequency and vibration. You understand? Which brings death, and it intensifies the vibration. Do you understand? In other words, the beer, the liquor, the drugs that are out here in this generation, in my humble opinion, versus the 60s and the 70s, it's a different type of drug. So they get you into this type of atmosphere, and now, and who knows, I don't know the percent, but the majority of these gangster life is projecting that thing, and now the kids are doing what? They're emulating. Do you really know what you're consuming? Anytime the government is setting up what they call them, where now they you can buy drugs from the government on any corner of Chicago now. Anytime they're in the drug industry now, come on, man. You should be thinking, am I saying that they're tainted drugs? That's for you to decide. But I'm not going to trust them. Why would I? You understand what I'm saying? Look, another day, another story. So our intake of this has made us crazy. I believe Satan understands this genome so much that they have scientifically created things that once we digest it and put it in our body, they can trigger it, okay? Because believe it or not, whether through metals or certain things that might be in these substances, they now have this, let's just call it a vibration and frequency in the air that can trigger you to hate, to have certain concepts, to act a certain way. Let's go crazy, let's get nuts. Do you understand what I'm saying, people, how deep this thing is? That Satan can actually have people in a lab creating things, and now you're taking it. And now you wonder why you're acting crazy. It's more than just what they allegedly spray in the sky. You know what they call them, the trails, so to speak. But hey, look, I put it to you like this. All of us grew up on Frankenstein. We saw that when the lightning bolts went, little Frankie went crazy, did he not? Do you understand what I'm saying? They have that mechanism to do that. Our children are becoming guinea pigs. All of society is becoming guinea pigs. When we consume that stuff, trust me, in my humble opinion, they have an additive in there which makes you not bless your fellow man. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they got to keep this environment dark. It's deep, y'all. It's deep. I want to be like the Most High? That's a lie. I want to take your children and curse them so I can be King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's his whole intent. Satan knows the makeup of God's image, that when we're disrespected, wounded, killed, there's a universal order that speaks at that point. It kicks in the reap what you sow. 11, many folks in the industry have a knowledge of the Creator, but haven't come into the knowledge of valuing themselves nor submitting themselves to the Creator, nor the benefits of what God intended. So I hope you guys understand this. I just want to say this. Again, if I can reach just one, it's all beneficial. Appreciate you guys being part of the channel. I'm not painting any culture or any black people with all a broad brush. What I'm saying is that we are predominantly managing this dark movement, and I'm gonna keep it real. And if it's not talked about, we can't come to realization to say, look, we've erred in our ways. God has a beautiful gift for us. It's called life. But when Satan creates these situations to turn it on his head, and then we fall for it, guess what? God don't get the glory. And that's the bottom line. God's glory is being taken by our participation in our own doom. I'm Friend Shot Pearson. Happy 4th of July. Let freedom ring. God bless.